Hey guys, I'm Alexis.
And I'm Kennedy.
And this is Divine Daughters. Welcome back to another week, another episode. Okay.
Another week, another episode.
That's going to be our thing now. So to be on a lighter note, we've been talking about the devil, we've been talking about demons, we've been talking about testimonies. So instead of talking about spiritual warfare this week, we're going to kind of speak about how to worship the Lord.
Yes.
So if we're not fighting the enemy, we're going to be honoring him. So tell us what we're going to be talking about.
Worship is like a form of fighting the enemy, you know?
Yeah, there's a song about it. This is how I fight my battles. I love that song. That's
such a good song. Okay. So this episode is going to be all the ways we can worship God.
Yeah.
I bet you know what the first one is.
Go ahead, say it.
I bet you can guess. So the first one is praise and worship.
Okay, I was saying singing because that's what I think of.
Yeah, so the first one's praise and worship, which a lot of people think praise and worship is the only way to worship God. That's kind of why I chose this topic, because it has the word in it. But praise and worship is not just singing in church or singing in your car. There's a lot of ways you can worship God.
This is true.
One being reading your Bible.
No, not the Bible.
Yes, the Bible.
I feel like that's one that everyone says they do, but no one does it. Like we talked about it before. I'm like,
you think so?
Oh yeah, because I used to say, oh yeah, I read my Bible all the time. Once a week, maybe once a month.
Okay,
I'm serious.
That's the one thing I've never really lied about. I'll tell you if I've read it or not.
No, but just in the sense of I assume everyone. Now I assume that no Christian reads their Bible.
Yeah, probably because I was a Christian for 20-something years and didn't read my Bible, and the past 2 years I started reading it. So I think nobody reads it really.
No, because once you realize, you're like, wait, I know how I was. I'm sure everyone else did the same thing.
And usually if people are because sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I read my Bible this week, and then I'll tell you I actually need to get back my Bible reading game. So I feel like that's the one thing I don't lie about when it comes to.
Yeah, I used to. I'll be honest, I used to, because I would be late.
You still?
I would no. My 6 a.m. alarm says otherwise, because I get up early to read specifically because it helps me. If I wait until the end of the day, I just look back on all the things.
In the morning, just because I'm half awake. I've tried reading it in the morning, early, and I'm falling asleep.
My thing is,
just to do a quick little devo.
I wake up I had a 5-hour energy drink. I get up, I'm like, thank you, Lord, for this day. I'm already excited. People would hate to be with me.
I'm a morning person, and I get up on the first alarm, but I'm still we are half asleep sometimes when we get to work.
Sleepovers hate to see me coming. I'm coming up with the Lord.
Oh, I know.
Today's gonna be a good day. Everyone get up. I'm hungry. And then they're like, it's 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I know.
Can you be quiet?
It's late. Let's go. Okay, so reading Bible, Devo, and we talked about the difference. Devo is kind of just more of a guided.
Yeah, it's kind of shorter. I read mine in 1 to 2 minutes. Oh. It's just a quick little something before work, so I can set my mind.
That's good. First things first.
First thing, yeah. So I do that in a little prayer.
Okay.
So another way you can worship God. This one's gonna press some buttons. Wait,
can we leave it to the end then? We just started the video. I don't want people to get off.
No.
Okay, go. Go say.
Is dressing modestly.
Yeah. What do you define modest?
What we're wearing right now.
Yeah.
Not a crop top.
Not a crop top.
Not your butt hanging out of your shorts.
Yeah. I think there's certain things that you can look at and be like,
yeah,
that's
I'm not saying
modest.
The longest dress all the way to your ankles. You could wear a short dress and your butt's not hanging out of it, or your boobs aren't hanging out of it.
Yeah.
So I feel there are, what do you think is modest?
I think anything that obviously honors the Lord, because that's worship, right? So if we're saying that dressing modestly is worship, it's something that we can probably come to the Father with, and him us not worry about what he's gonna say. So if I'm going to the Lord with a super low tank top, or I come with shorts, obviously I'm gonna go change before I talk to him, or someone of a supervisor, or dressing work professional. I'm not gonna go to the gym in slacks and a big t-shirt, or I'm not going to go to a work event in shorts and a tank. So it's kind of what atmosphere by reading the social cues. So for me, I kind of view it as anything.
Another social cue.
Yeah, social cue. Because I know what I'm wearing that I looked a little too good in. If I'm dressing up, I'm I look good, or I look sexy. You always have the moments where you're hype yourself up. You can hype yourself up in a cute outfit where you're not drawing attention to yourself in ways that can make people look more at you than God.
After you.
Yeah, because guys, it's like it's innate for them. It's like the first, and we always said this in church, which I completely agree with. The first glance you can't control, the second one you can. But when I'm constantly making men fight for their life from having whiplash, it's not a thing. Like I'm not like it's not even that I could be super beautiful.
You're supposed to keep people like from sin.
Yeah,
you're not helping the problem if you're walking around in booty shorts in the store.
No, because it's one thing to be beautiful, and there's one thing to be like sexy, or there's things to be trashy. Like there's different connotations. You can't help
if someone looks at you and you're full in leggings and a sweatshirt. And they're looking at you. That's not your fault.
No, I mean, there's certain times where I don't think I'm beautiful at all. And then, like, I'll have my boyfriend that looks at me. He's like, you're so beautiful. I'm like, my hair has not been washed in 3 days. No makeup. I'm in sweatpants. Like, I
haven't even brushed my teeth this morning.
It's like, I want to be looked at as someone like, oh, wow, like, you are beautiful. Or, like, I see Jesus in you. I don't want people to see me. Oh, yeah, that's the one that has...
dresses like this, that looks like that.
Yeah. Like, known by, like, my assets. And saying, like, that's the girl with the legs. Oh, that's the one that talks too much. Oh, that's the one that talks too much. We do talk too much. That's why we have a podcast. But yeah, like I don't want to be known as one of my features that the Lord's blessed me with. You know, I want to be known as like she's someone that I respect. She's someone
Proverbs 31 women.
Yeah, which is a good thing. Why wouldn't you want to be?
Yeah. It doesn't say in Proverbs 31 she wears booty shorts.
No. No, we would probably be called prostitutes back then. There was literally women that were married and women that were prostitutes. And so, I don't know. Yeah.
Have you ever struggled with this one or no, not really?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to be called beautiful. I like for people to have validation. We had talked about that in the past. I mean, if I felt rejected by women and they didn't like me because X, Y, Z, I would go towards male attention. Male attention is so much easier to get than women. Because women, you feel a sense of competition. With men, you don't have competition. They just look at you like you are my target. I want to give you attention. Women, you have to earn that or earn some type of thing. So I felt like for men, it was easier to please if I dressed cute or if I looked a certain way. Not that I would be like, oh, I'm going to have this up here, this hiked up here, but it would be subtle things that I knew, oh, I look good in this. This is a little bit too skin tight. Yeah. So I did, for sure. Okay. I feel like most women, they have the moment in their lives where they're insecure.
I feel like it's mostly like going from high school to college, you get like a lot more crop tops because like you're going out, you're going to do stuff.
And you're not with your parents all the time, maybe, because like I don't live with my parents. I mean, I live with my grandpa, so I would just put like a sweatshirt over it. But I mean, I would go out. I'm 21. I could do what I want, you know? Yeah. So I kind of struggled with that when I was like right in college area.
When I wore my most crop tops was like high school and college.
Yeah.
And now I need to go through my closet and actually get rid of all of them. It's just taking up space. It's like I don't wear them anymore.
I'm at the age now where I'm like, why is my stomach out? I had 2 brownies. I don't want my stomach out. I want a full length tee.
I feel like there's a certain age where it's like, I'm about to be 22. Why are you wearing a crop top?
Yeah.
Same reason why I'm like, why are you going out all the time? You were 22. Like, you have a full-time job. What are you doing?
That's even like worldly creators will have stuff like that. Like, okay, hey guys, if y'all wanted to like go to events that aren't going out tops, here's a couple full length tees. Like I follow people that have that and they talk about all their cute dress options.
Doing that because I need to start watching that.
Oh, they're so cute. I'll have to send you one because it's perfect for your, like she looks just like you. So I think it'd be perfect.
That's what I need.
Oh, your Amazon. Maybe not spending wise. Just kidding. We're not going to do that. But yeah, so I mean, I feel like everyone struggles with that and it's just a transitional thing of trying to come into who you are, and style plays a big part in that.
Yeah. And it's hard when like everything nowadays that's like trendy and popular are crop tops and like not as modest. I feel like it's getting a little bit better though. Like we have a few more modest options that are like, they're not like
old money,
grandmother,
like old money type looks. I feel like are super sophisticated.
No, I love it. Or just even like the office like looks, like business casual kind of look. I like that too.
Yeah. So it's switching, but there's still room for trying to figure out who you are. So when you come to that realization or someone brings it up to you, or even if you feel convicted by the Holy Spirit, that's something that can be something easy to change, but costly because you got to pay for new stuff. I don't know.
It's okay. I like shopping anyway.
Hey, there you go.
So another way you can worship God is keeping your room and house clean. Because
don't go in my room.
I struggle with this one a lot. And a few weeks ago, this is probably like what started this topic that I picked, because a few weeks ago I kept getting convicted about my room. And you know me. A lot of people know me. My room has never been clean ever. And if it is, it's like for a day. And then
I'm not gonna call you out,
like
but
it just becomes a mess. It's a hot mess. Okay, but a few weeks ago I started getting convicted where like it would bother me if there was mess. And it's not like an OCD demon or whatever. It's literally just like I got convicted and like asked the Lord about it, and it was kind of like, this is the space. And the same thing with like what you wear when you are with him. He is coming into your room or wherever you are, and if you have laundry and wrappers and
I don't want God tripping over my stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, Lord.
So he's like looking around and he's like,
I didn't think about that.
Hot mess. Do you really think I don't want to go in someone's room that's a hot mess?
I normally just would get to your door and jump on the bed. Like you can't like, I just
like you're tripping over something.
Like,
so
no.
like I've been getting evicted about it. So I've been trying my best to like keep it clean as much as possible.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because recently, like, I don't like to sweep my room. Like, I will keep objects off my floor because my room is kind of big. There's no way I can cover the floor. But my dust bunnies and me, we live together, we coexist, and so that I've been looking at that and like, that's dirty.
It's like starting to bother me. Like today, I've been doing laundry like the day of or day after it comes out the dryer. And if you know me, this is a big deal because sometimes I'll just keep it in the basket like 3 weeks and then just run out of laundry. Or just fold it like 3 weeks.
No, I do it every week. Like, I just do my laundry.
And now I've been like evicted, so I'm like, I literally just do it. Like, what else are you doing? Just do it. And there's a verse I found for it. It's Corinthians 14:40, and it says, "Let all things be done decently and in order." And I feel like when I was like praying about it, I'm like, why am I feeling this way about, like, is it just stressing me out because I'm like, I need it clean? But it's more like he doesn't want to be invited tripping over your bags and your purse and your clothes.
You want me to blow your mind real quick? You know why do you know why I think he's also doing that right now?
Why?
What you have on your finger.
You're right.
He's
if you don't know, I am engaged right now, and I'm getting married in a few months. But that probably is right.
He's building you to be the wife for him.
Yeah, you're right, because I've always struggled that, and like my fiance is a lot cleaner than me. We'll say that. Like he is.
My boyfriend's cleaner.
Him when like because he shares a bathroom with his brother, so like it bothers him when they leave stuff in there. And I'm not as bad as his brothers.
No.
But we do make a little bit of a mess and we don't clean up. So probably, I didn't even think about that.
That's literally the first thing I thought.
Right. And it's been like the last 3 weeks, and that's kind of when I got engaged. It was like when I got back from the trip, I'm like, my mess is bothering me. Like I literally like had to do 3 loads of laundry from after coming back from the trip of getting engaged, and it was bothering me more. I'm like, usually I leave the stuff in the suitcase for like 3 weeks and don't touch it.
It's like, I have other clothes to wear.
I didn't even think about that. But also when I was praying about it, it was like everything you put your hand to, do it for the glory of God. So everything, even if it's doing dishes, that's like a form of worship because you're doing it for God, and you're doing it to show like, I am cleaning up what you gave me. I am taking care of all the gifts you have given me, because I have a nice room and I have things in the room that like I wouldn't have had the money to buy unless like God blessed me with things.
For sure.
So when it's all over the floor and it's getting stepped on every single night, that doesn't show God like I can give you more. You're not even taking care of what I give you. So
that's good. Yeah, that's a word. Okay, that was good.
So another one is staying healthy and honoring God with your body.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff we eat is very processed and not good for us. And if you read the Bible, he talks a lot about like honey and fruits and like that kind of stuff. Like they don't talk about cosmic brownies or goldfish or cheese or like that kind of stuff. So I feel like we were never really meant to eat the processed food. It's just we got into like America where it's like everything's fast and quick and you want it now. So like now you don't have all the food that they used to eat.
Which makes sense. I mean, because they used to have women that would stay home and cook. I mean, when we're working, I don't want to cook a meal when I've been at the hospital or clinical for all these hours. Like I meal prep now.
Yeah, but you don't want to come home at 6 o'clock and be like, okay, now I got to stand here and cook dinner for 2 hours. Yeah. So I feel like honoring staying healthy, eating is healthy. I'm not saying you can never have cake again. No. You can never have goldfish, because I love goldfish and cosmic brownies and all of it. But I feel like you should try your best to like eat the food God has given you. So like the natural stuff, like the fruits and the vegetables and the honey and the meat, like that kind of stuff.
If you can afford it, then definitely also go towards that.
If you eat the stuff God gave you, they probably didn't have they didn't have heart attacks and like those type of problems back in Jesus' day, because when you eat that, you're not eating. Yeah, like you're not gaining all this weight. So I have a verse for that too, and it's John 2:15-17, is gluttony is placed in the category of lust of the flesh. So that also like kind of goes into
That's
like gluttony is a sin.
good.
So if you're like overeating and you're always thinking about food, that is gluttony. And that is a sin, and it's probably a demon. I feel like probably a demon.
No, I'll tell you about that. For me, like personal experience, like I've always been like my BMI is in a healthy rate. Like I'm not considered obese in any way. But I did used to struggle with, for some reason, like with gluttony in the sense of always thinking about food. Like, and this is like child derived. Like I used to always say, what am I going to get for dinner? What am I going to have for dinner? It's breakfast.
Yeah. I do the same thing. And it's like, it's not even like that I'm a foodie, because I have a sweet tooth. Like I like food. It was to the point where it's like I would be eating breakfast and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have this. Or I would do this thing where like I ate so much of something because I didn't think it would be there.
Oh.
Where I'm like, it's a whole cake. Like I know it's going to be here at night. So why am I eating like 3 pieces for lunch when I know at dinner it's going to be there too, and then have even more? Because I was like, it's not like I never had food. Like we always had food growing up. It's not like we missed a meal.
She had the snack house.
Yeah,
like you go in her pantry and she had all the snacks.
all the little Debbies. So I'm like, why am I like overeating to have this dessert when I could just have like a bite or two, or even just like a little slice of cake? Why am I like overeating because I think it's not going to be there at night or like later?
Yeah, I mean, like, which is a valid thing for you, because I mean you did have 4 other people living in your house, so I mean it could have been gone. But like but you understand the difference between like an obsession over something that's not a thing that should be obsessed about.
Yeah.
So I get that. That's the weirdest thing, because I even struggle with this. So I feel like most people struggle with some type of food addiction or gluttony.
Like disorder
yeah, because I mean a lot of people, they don't look like it, but food is a great way to get people, because what happens if you have to always look at the root of things. I mean, if you're struggling with food, that means you're probably living a sedentary lifestyle. That means you're probably going to deal with disease and infirmity. Oh, they're going to invite another demon of that.
And like when I go back and think about it, it's like when I was eating horrible and like consuming so much sugar, I was like always sick. Like always had strep, flu, congested, like something. And since like the past, it's been almost like a year since I've been like eating clean, no sugar, no carbs and everything. And like I think I've only gotten sick like once or twice, and it's not really my fault, because all the kids in my class were like,
you work with children, so
so there are like risks, you know. But
no, that's a great one. And that's in whether you're like a eating disorder or whether that's just a constant thought. Because for me, I used to just be like, that's how everyone thought. And then I realized that's not rational.
There's a difference between like you're thinking about it every meal. Like sometimes I'll eat breakfast, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for my dad to cook my favorite meal tonight. Like I'm excited to eat whatever he's cooking because that's like my favorite. It's a difference between like you're eating breakfast and you're just thinking about the next meal just because you're not even hungry. You just are.
No.
Because there is a difference. Because like sometimes I'll know we're going out to dinner and I'm like, I can't wait to eat this because I haven't had this forever. This is my favorite.
Or I'd freak out if I had to, like, if people would bring up fasting in church. So I think there's also that also comes up into a thing of preventing people from wanting to fast. Because for me, that's how it affected. Because anytime someone brought up a fast, I'd be like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be sick. Like, I can't go without a meal. There's no way. But yeah, so I think it could be some type of strategic way that the enemy can prevent God's people from fasting, which worships the Lord.
Yeah, because it's like you're not gonna have a meal for this many days. Aren't you scared? I can see that happening. So my last one is words you speak and how you act, and I feel like that also draws into like cursing, and the way you talk to people, and just like how you show. Like if you're cursing all the time and people are like, oh, you go to church, like you're a worship leader, you're
that's
cursing,
the worst thing.
Doesn't look good for you. It doesn't look good for your church or God. That's not honoring and worshiping him. Especially how you act, because your actions do speak louder than words sometimes.
Oh yeah, and then you have nonverbals. Like I use all this terminology in nursing. They tell us all this stuff, and it's like your nonverbals of like how you look at people. You might like see someone walk into the room and your face is like,
oh yeah, your face can always. I struggle with this too. Like you can always tell on my face because it's just my facial expressions, and like I am working on this.
It takes
time.
time.
It's also not my fault you're saying crazy things and you're looking at me while you say crazy things. Like that's not always my fault.
For me, I can handle that. Like I can look at you and just be like thinking in my head, Lord.
And you can tell like my facial expression, like you can tell the minute you say something. I'm like,
all my friends have that issue, and like I just tap their knee, or I'm just like, oh yeah, and like your face, your face, or I'm.
I feel like that's what you're like.
Oh, yeah, because it's like. Because when people are being crazy, like, it's hard not
my fault.
to.
You're being crazy.
But it's also not the setting to address that in a group. It's something one-on-one.
Yeah, you dress it. No. Like, rather hold my tongue and it just, you see it on my face than actually confront you about it. But I do have a verse for that too, and it's Luke 6:45, and it's, for out the abundance of the heart his mouth speaks.
Yeah.
So watch what you say.
And also, like, little things that you think about people too. Like, another term is like microaggressions. So it's like little things that eat at you about certain people. So it could be like a demographic, it could be a culture, it could be a certain person where you just like see them and you have these like just thoughts where it's,
and like I struggle with that a little bit, but it's mostly like I have the feeling gift. So sometimes I'm like, I feel their demons a little bit more. So, like, I can tell like you have demons, and like I can just my light's affecting your demons, so that's why you're acting like this right now. So like sometimes it's not judging them, it's just I know you're acting like that because I'm in the room right now.
No, I had that the other.
So like I just watch out for like certain people. I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna talk to you because I know how you are.
For me, I don't have like the feeling thing, but I can make a demon manifest real quick. Like, it happened the other night. I was at dinner, and one of the people that was at the dinner, you can tell like something was off about them. Pretty sure they were intoxicated, and like you can tell like in their eyes they couldn't form sentences, and it just be when they look at me, like I felt it. And when people would look away, like they would be able to kind of have a sentence.
You didn't tell me about this.
Yeah, no, it was interesting because I'm like, I can, like, and everyone else like there is Christian, so it's like we can see it. It's like you saw that manifesting. Yeah, like you can just tell. So you can obviously make demons uncomfortable, but recognize the difference of when to identify it, when to come up to the person, hey, how are you doing? And like what kind of authority you have in that, because it's different from being like, dude, you saw that? That is great. Like, being like, oh, I don't like her, and that's something that needs to be addressed at a different time. So, and you can watch your face with that.
What is your favorite form of worship?
Oh,
it could be one that's on the list, one that's not on the list. Like, which is your favorite form?
That's a good one.
I feel like mine right now might be cleaning, because I've never been a cleaner. My sister is a cleaner. And when I was like praying about it and asking my mom about it, I was like, I don't know if Amelie's like rubbing off on me all of a sudden, but it's about me. And now that you say it's because he's preparing me for like the next season I'm about to go into, it's so true, because like who wants to come home, especially when I am off 2 days a week? Who wants to come home at 6 o'clock to like a big mess when you have been home for 24 hours and you could have done everything, you know? And I want to stay home and be a stay-home mom anyway. So like,
Kenny's gonna have to clean if she has kids and all that. So I mean, that's great. That's encouraging though. The next step, the next season, God's already preparing you for, and you have time.
That is.
I guess to answer your question, mine would be prayer. Like I love worshiping recently after listening to a lot of Christian music now, and like being more in tune with that. I'm like, Lord, I want to incorporate you throughout the day, not just on points that I can or have time when I'm by myself. I want to think about you when I'm around others so that I can say the right things. So prayer has been one of my favorite forms recently.
I feel like that's always been one of your things, because like you're a little prayer warrior.
But I have my certain seasons where like the enemy tries to shut me up, and so I don't pray. Like I don't pray at all. So it's either I'm a praying machine and I'm like, I bind you and I cast you out, and Lord, I'm calling down heaven. It's either that or I'm like, I don't speak. And when I'm not, like I don't really listen to other music, so I'll just be in my thoughts by myself, and I'm just thinking and I'm just going through the motions, and I'm like, Lord, remind me, I'm in nursing school not to torture myself, but I have you have a plan for me,
especially since like you recently have found out like what you want to do with nursing.
That'll be interesting.
Usually when you find out what you want to do,
that's something I want to keep praying about too, just so I can like know and be certain. But
of course, and he'll show you. He'll open doors,
because there's so many different routes with nursing, and I had an experience in it that I was like, maybe this might be the certain field that I might specialize in, or I might want to go into, but I want to continue to be prayerful about. And you know, I don't want to say too much and let the enemy kind of get in and discourage me or distract. So I'm like, I always bind up the enemy before I start praying so he doesn't hear me. So weird little things. But okay,
that was our episode. Ways to worship.
What's your favorite? Comment below if you want to do that. Like, comment below
your favorite. But I hope you have a good week.
Bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye.